Welcome to Off Topic, our wonderful little sports podcast where we always go off topic. Okay, before we get started, we're going to do Major League Baseball. Like, subscribe, and comment. Anything we say, tell us how you feel. Okay, big news in MLB are the Toronto Blue Jays, who I've been watching rather extensively and exclusively for the past 7 or 8 games, who have gone undefeated in those past 8 games, and that started that streak 3 games below the division-leading New York Yankees, and are now 13 games above 500 and 3 games above the New York Yankees. And these words are coming out of my mouth, and I saw it in real time, and I still don't believe it. It is crazy. I know how they're doing it. I don't know. I know why they're doing it. I just don't know why it's different this year.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they're playing as a team. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. They don't have any big injuries going on right now.
Not huge, yeah.
But a little bumps and bruises. But that happens in a 162 game season. But they're really playing as a team, and they're coming at teams instead of trying to defend off teams.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I've noticed with them is that they're coming out and they're coming at the team hard as opposed to kind of just stepping back and letting the team come at them and hoping they win.
And it's the
offense. They're offensive.
Can we talk now, Wayne? Is it okay if we run the show? What's driving the offense is the 5 through 9 hitters.
Yeah.
Bose was injured. He hasn't been doing a lot. Vladdy's been okay. And Alejandro Kirk's cooled off a bit. He was hitting like 460 for like in a 12 game. It was nuts.
It was a good streak there.
George Springer's bringing the power. He's against the Yankees, a 4-game stint against the Yankees. He went 8 for 14 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs in 4 games. Addison Barger got the walk-off yesterday. Ernie Clement got the walk-off the game before. Nathan Lucas, they're getting clutch hits. The difference between this year and last year, and I know why they're doing it, is they're getting hits with runners in scoring position. Yeah. It was beyond frustrating last year. Bases loaded, nobody out, 3 and done, game over. And it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. This year, 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 count, runners going on the pitch, single down the third baseline or opposite field up the first baseline for a single that scores 2 runs.
Yeah.
That's the difference this year. I don't know why it's happening.
No, but hey, we'll take it.
Well, I'll take it. It's effectively the exact same team this year as it was last year.
Yeah.
There's really, Jeff Hoffman is the closer instead of Jordan Romano.
But hey,
Miles Straw, they picked up.
That's a big difference there.
Well, Miles Straw, it's the offense. So hang on, let me finish talking. Gee whiz. I'm waiting for Wayne to say something. Yeah, there he is. Miles Straw is platooning in the outfield because Dalton Varsho's injured. Yeah. Minor things. Jeff Hoffman, a little bit of a difference. They brought some of the young guys up from the farm for middle relief. Max Scherzer, he's played a handful of games. He steps in. He's for 0 to 50 pitches. He's like 5 strikeouts, no hits.
Yeah.
.00 ERA after 50 pitches with the thumb in the back. In fact, he's 40 years old. The wheels kind of come off a bit. But he keeps them in there for 5 innings.
Yeah.
And they're getting hits with runners in scoring position. They were up 7-0 in the first inning against the Yankees in the 3rd game. They won at 11-9. They nearly blew it, but they still hung on to win. But 7 runs in the first inning against the Yankees? That's crazy. I don't know why it's happening. It's happening. I'm enjoying it. I don't know why it's different this year than that last year, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah.
There was an interesting stat I was looking at too. Their run differential, right?
Oh yeah.
Was the other day, and today it's at +11. So they've obviously gotten some more points on teams, but it was only +2
last year.
No, right now, like earlier this week.
Yeah.
Like the run differential. So the run scored against the run. It was only a +2.
Yeah.
Right? Where other teams are like winning teams are +100.
Yeah.
+111, they're +2.
Yeah.
And then you look at their last 3 games, 4-3, 4-3, 8-5, 11-9.
Oh, they had 2 walk-offs against the Angels.
Yeah. Like they're two tight games. I mean, like they aren't blowing teams out. I mean, Their biggest differential here was against the Yankees, 12-5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 1 or 2 run games, and they're scrappy and they're finding a way to win. So
and
good on them.
It's the bottom of the order is getting these timely clutch hits.
Yeah.
They never got a single clutch hit last year, and they're getting tons. And it's Nathan Lucas, who nobody who's got his rookie career, Davis Snyder.
Yep.
Who, exploded coming up. They called him Babe Snyder, then cooled off completely.
Yeah.
Addison Barger, who's turning into an everyday starter.
Yeah.
Got a cannon for an arm. Like he's a hoss. He's got a cannon, can play outfield, can play infield. Really solid, but he's getting these big hits. Tons of power, lots of RBIs, hitting for average.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great. It's really exciting to watch, and I'm totally stoked. And they're finally, they won 7 in a row. And I just hope they just keep winning. They get
Well, I think next week is when they do the All-Star break. Is
Probably,
it next
yeah.
Sunday? I'm just trying to look at that. So,
Alejandro Kirk is behind Cal Raleigh. No kidding.
well, that guy's crazy, eh? Yeah, so July 13th is the last game, and then they don't play again until July 18th.
Yeah.
So that's the All-Star break is in there.
And yesterday they won in extras, and both the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays lost.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very big win yesterday. They put them 3 games up instead of just 2.
Yeah,
So,
huge.
So they got to just keep winning when the Yankees win and lose when the Yankees lose, and they can maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Still only half a season left, but who knows?
Cal Raleigh, you talk about Kirk's behind him, but it makes sense. 35 home runs before the break. League leading 35 home runs before the break. The guy's unbelievable.
He's having a miracle season.
He's just not even slowing down.
Yeah, a miracle season.
So, but the best thing about the Jays, being at the top, getting way up there, and being 3 games above the Yankees, going into the All-Star break. We were heading into the All-Star break here. They should still be in the lead. Is watching how triggered Tim gets when they collapse in the second half of the season. Stay tuned.
I'm
will be
hanging
entertaining.
in, man. I'm hanging in.
We got his hopes so high
I'm
right now.
hanging in. But in other news, I got tickets on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I went to where's the camera? Can I get a close up here? Vancouver Canadians game.
Nice.
And I had ice cream and a baseball helmet, which I have not done in 30 years.
Now, was it just like straight soft serve, or was it?
No, it's scoop. It's a nice scoop.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because remember you used to go and you get the soft serve.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
just be playing on soft serve in a helmet now.
I am not complaining about soft serve ice cream.
Oh my God. Like, you got to Google the ice cream and the helmets at different stadiums, because they all have their different vibe on it now. And it's like this luxurious thing. Before it'd be
it's
like,
high-end.
you just get the little helmet and a little bit of ice cream in it, and that's it, right? No.
Get the little twist, the curl,
Yeah,
and
oh.
put a little something on there
I
for it.
was saying to the wife, like, we got to start going to stadiums again and start getting these, because A, I like ice cream, and B, you need to get a helmet from every stadium you go to.
Well, I was pulling in to the gas station going to the game.
Right.
In Chilliwack in my wife's car. And my phone rings, and my son from Toronto, he's in his 30s and lives with his girlfriend, they own a house, says, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Good, what's up, man?" "I'm going to be a grandfather." So I'm just freaking out. And the significance of being in my wife's car is she drives a cash guy, and I drive my little Micra, and my gas cap is on the driver's side and hers is on the passenger side. So I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy. I love you so much. This is the best news ever." Like crying trying to get gas. And then I'm on the wrong side of the pump, and I'm trying to get on the right side of the pump, and I'm going like 3 different times, and I'm screwing it up. And I finally get it right. And my son Ben's like, "I'm going to pump the gas."
Just sit there.
I'm going to pump the gas. So I have my little helmet, and I'm going to mail this to my son. And this is what my grandchild is going to enjoy. It's, because they all get the little plastic, forks and stuff. This is what my little grandchild is going to enjoy their favorite treats out of. So I'm going to take it with me, because the due date is in December, and I'm going to go in January. So
nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
my Vancouver Canadians ice cream helmets, mint chocolate chip, and bubble gum.
Maybe we'll get
Very
one at
good.
the Mariners game for him too.
That would be great.
That'd be a good idea.
And I tried to send them some Montreal Canadian pajamas and little undershirts.
Yeah.
And I get an email, "Oh, it's ready for pickup in like downtown Montreal." I'm like, "What?" And I read my thing, and it got shipping address, Hamilton, Ontario. I'm like, what did it's so complicated. So I send an email. I try and call the number. So now all next week, I'm going to be like, hey, does anyone parlay anglais? Because I really don't feel like getting my cousin to drive to downtown Montreal to pick up the gift and then mail it on my behalf. But I may have to.
So what I found the easiest thing to do when doing online shopping is just get your wife to do it. Point out what you want, and they'll take care of it.
I cannot.
I don't even try to navigate that stuff. BS. And if you got a daughter, she does your wife's Christmas shopping for you.
No, that I can do. That's easy.
Yeah.
I can buy a bottle of wine easily enough.
The funny part was last week we were doing the show. We had a break. We're outside, and I was talking about going camping and had to go pick up my grandson. And he goes, "Oh, I need to get me one of those."
I know. It's just,
I was like, "Yes, you do. It's the best thing in the world."
Talk about your grandson. You guys are like best buddies.
Oh yeah.
My coworker is just wonderful. Her middle son played football with Benny, so we have a bit of a connection there. And she has two granddaughters. Her grandson and granddaughter. She posts pictures. Going to ballet classes, gorgeous little kids. I'm just like, oh man, I don't know if I'll have one. Like, I don't know. Like they're, getting older and they're not really emotive.
Yeah.
They're a little bit quieter and so all of a sudden this phone call comes in. I'm crying and calling my dad. He's 92 years old. He's going to get a great grandchild. I was like, I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
And it's just like nothing for years. My youngest niece is getting married in Ottawa in September. I've got a baby coming in December. And my eldest sister's son is now ring shopping for his girlfriend.
Nice.
So I'm praying to God, she's from Brandon, Manitoba, that they get married in Brandon, just so I don't have to go back to suburban Ottawa again. Because Barb and I wanted to go to Europe this year. And it's like, okay, anyway, we're completely off topic.
That's what happened.
So Jays are surging, and then the Dodgers are in a little bit of trouble.
Well, not really. I mean, the Major League Baseball leading Los Angeles Dodgers.
I don't know how they're doing it.
You know what? It's really amazing. Shohei got out there and pitched yesterday. Got 2 innings in.
Shohei.
But the Dodgers news was they had their worst home loss in the history of Dodger Stadium. 18-1
to the Astros.
To the Houston cheating Astros.
Oh, come on. They all do it. They just got caught.
Oh.
They all do it. They just got caught.
And the absolute best was after the game.
Oral Hershiser,
Dodger great pitcher, 1988 World Series stud.
The Bulldog.
He's now their announcer. And he's like, wow. It's like they knew it was coming.
Toronto.
Oral, I love you.
Toronto had a great run, and they went into Boston, and they're winning in all these games in a row and winning series, and they lost 15-1 to the Red Sox, who couldn't buy a run after trading Rafael Devers, and all of a sudden they blow up for 15 runs against Toronto. Everyone's like, "What just happened?" And then it cools off. So teams. Pat Tabler said it during the 93 run. I'm going to lose. I want to lose massive.
Yeah.
Because I lose by 1 run, I go to bed. If I had only done one thing differently, you just play with your head. When it blows up, you're stuck. Tomorrow's another day. But
well, and that's the thing is Dave Roberts, the manager for the Dodgers, right afterwards, he's like, "Well, we're flushing that one away."
I'm not even going to think about it anymore.
And that's the thing. Like you're gonna have those bad games where you just say, "See ya."
Yeah,
it was.
And who cares? Game. It's not hurting them. It's not going to cost them the World Series.
So the young kid who is pitching, Kasperius, yeah. I mean, he's having a decent year. He's a reliever, but he started that game because of all the injuries. He's got 57 Ks on the year. Maybe a 4.6 ERA isn't great, but I mean, that just got driven out of the ballpark because of that game. So, I mean, he's had a couple of rough starts. He's had a couple of good starts. So
it's life. Now, good news. Let's go to the good news out of the Dodger camp. Tell us about your boy, Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw got 3,000. Woo, woo, woo. And you knew it was going to come. He got down to 3 left.
Well, you know what? He was battling injuries. Yes. So he had 3 strikes away from 3,000, and he was in the farm club battling to come back. And
he he had pitched a bit. Like the three,
Yeah.
he got to 3. He got 5 the game before that he pitched.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, like he'd been. We knew he was going to hit 3,000 this year.
But he was in the minors on a rehab stint.
Yes.
And you don't know how those are going to go. So it's good that he came back and got it. And he's one of 4 lefties.
Yeah.
Steve Carlton, CC Sabathia, and Randy Johnson.
The big unit.
The big unit to get 3,000 strikeouts. It's such a monumental achievement for a guy's career.
Yeah.
And he did the whole thing as a Dodger. He's only ever been a Dodger.
That's the key.
In the modern era, that is unheard of.
Yeah.
And that's just he's going to be a Hall of Famer as a Dodger. They're going to retire his number. You know, they'll get him in the organization doing something. California boy. And he's from Cali. He gets to play his whole career for the Dodgers. It's just, it's so rare now. And it's just awesome. But then Max Muncy puts on a pair of glasses and blows his knee out.
Well, that was horrible too, because it was a throwdown. It was a throwdown to third base, and the guy came in sliding in head first and helmet to the side of the knee. And you hate seeing that because, like you said, Muncy's been just a machine since he got these glasses. It was night and day.
Couldn't see it.
It's
so funny
now.
because, I mean, everything they do is just like every aspect of their training, everything is just like it's like microscopic detail, and no one figured out that he couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing. Like it's just like did no one check his eyes at the beginning of the season? Like, oh, hey, glasses, look at these.
Yeah,
Trailer Park Boys and bubbles.
and you know what? He looks smarter with them all. You know, so a little bit of style there. Yeah, Kershaw 32 Ks this year.
Nice.
So that's that's where he was to start the season. He was down 32, and now he's
awesome.
Gone over that lump there.
2-time World Series champ, COVID and non-COVID, and you can't ever take that away from him.
Yeah,
4-0.
4-0. But yeah, he was from Dallas, Texas. He played all his.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, I always thought he was a California boy.
Him and Matt Stafford. Played baseball together.
That's crazy. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it's yeah.
I mean, 2 kids out of the same neighborhood, same high school. Like it's 0.01% of everyone playing sports make it to the major leagues. And 2 guys who are best friends in high school. One is killing it in the NFL, and the other guy's killing it in the MLB.
Yeah.
And the odds of that happening, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like you got to have a great high school with a great pipeline, getting the colleges or the MLB draft. It doesn't mean they make it. And even if they make it, it doesn't mean they, turn into Hall of Famers, right?
Well, and this is you can look at the Jalen and Tyson Philpott in the CFL, the twin brothers, and you can look at these 2 here who are best buddies, and you get that person that pushes you, right? Same skill level, same attitude, same drive, and you get that person that pushes you, and you're going to get better because it's a constant competition. And when you drive each other like that, you're only going to get better. Your competitive level is going to get better, right? And
a lot of things happen between draft day and the MLB.
Yeah, I agree.
Years ago, Toronto drafted a guy named Jared Groshans out of high school down in Florida or something. And, top prospect in baseball, kid was an infielder, really good. A few rounds later, they get his buddy Klofstein. And they're going to offer Klofstein, I think, $300,000 in a signing bonus, and Groshans got like 2.3 or something. But Klofstein's like, I'm not giving up. I got a chance to go to LSU or something. I'm not going to give up LSU for the lousy $300,000. Half of it goes to taxes, and 5% is going to go to my agent.
Yeah.
So he was going to sign. So Jared Groshans looks across the street at his buddy, who he's played with his entire life, and he gives $1 million of his signing bonus to his best friend. So he would sign, and they both go to the Jays together.
Oh, no way.
And the last time I heard, Jared Groshans, I think, got his first home run with the Miami Marlins 6 years after they drafted him. And then I haven't heard a thing since about either one of them. So, yes, you have someone driving you and blah, 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 and you have the pedigree and blah, 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 blah. It still doesn't mean you're going to make it. Like, it's just, it's
no,
so
it doesn't. It doesn't.
hard.
But I mean, the drive to get better.
Yeah. But it's there for everybody.
Yeah. Well,
it's there for everybody.
When you
right?
get 2 people that are doing the same thing, you push each other. I mean, look at us. Look at us. I mean,
I can't
working
push
together
you
12 years
because I have a sore back. But
working together 12 years.
We have.
You know, I've come a long way. You could try harder, but I've come a long way. So
I peaked years ago. I'm just going downhill. It starts with my knees. It started with my feet got wider, my knees started to bug, my back, and it's just now it's hitting up here, and it's all just going downhill.
It was funny because we're at the lake, and I was sitting there on my.
What do I have to do?
Sitting on my paddleboard, I'm watching the people out there standing on paddleboards. I'm just kind of like lounging, right? And my buddy's like, he goes, "What are you thinking of?" I'm like, "When my knees used to work, I could do stuff like that." When my knees used.
I used to
work.
run 3 days a week, and forget it.
Now I only run when they bring Timbits into the office.
Oh, I can't even do that. But anyway.
All right, Bobby Jenks.
Bobby Jenks, so Bobby Jenks, of course, was a closer for the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
When they finally broke the Kaminsky curse and won the World Series back in 08?
16, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, 08.
Oh, wait. And my most indelible memory, he was a hoss, absolute fireballer. He would come in to close out that ninth and just leaving a vapor trail of that baseball. Nobody could touch him. And the manager in the very last game, it was game 6, comes walking out of the dugout, and he points to the dugout, and he doesn't, usually it's, I got to stand up for this because it's actually very funny. Usually it's, they walk out and you want the lefty or they want the righty. And they point and they want this and they want that. Bobby Jenks is his hoss, and he comes out and he just does this. Bring me my closer. He just does this. This great big, polar bear of a guy. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And he just came out and fired just 3 brilliant innings, or three outs. They just gunned him down. Nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
And cancer just sucks. And
Yeah.
44 years old, his whole life ahead of him, and just it's just it's heartbreaking when you see these things.
Yeah. I mean, and that's life. It happens, right? And these, you got these old the White Sox players that played with him, commiserating and remembering him and whatnot. But yeah, I remember that playoffs and watching him pitch, and he threw that ball like he was mad at it.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
Completely locked in.
Yeah.
Like it's physically he's doing amazing things, but you could feel his mental state of just being completely mentally locked in. And just, you couldn't touch him. Like, it was just amazing to watch him pitch.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking, and
young guy too, wasn't he?
44 years old.
44, yeah.
That's it. 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, rest in peace, buddy. Cancer sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, baseball, MLB.
That's it. I think we got to wrap it up.
The draft is coming up.
Yes.
Jays have the 8th overall pick. And I got to say, their drafting in the last little while has not been great. And they've revamped their scouting.
Well,
and last year they took 3 pitchers in a row, Yasevich and Kai and another guy named King, Kai Stevens, a kid named King. All 3 from last year have been promoted to Double-A ball. I got to admit, I'm really impressed. And they're just, that's 1 year from lower A ball to get up to Double-A in 1 year at a high school is that's a quantum leap, man. That's a really good sign. We'll see what happens this year. There's needs against best player available. I guess you go best player. But yeah.
Yeah, the first 3 rounds are on the 13th, and then 4 through 20 are on the 14th. Nationals hold out number 1 overall pick. Seattle's down there with, I think the 3rd pick overall. So, I mean, like I hate the
way they do it now. It's just if you have a crappy season, get the first pick. I hate these formulas and.
Well, but they got the anti-tanking rule, because I mean, you got teams that just don't bother trying so they can go after a player.
Well, so what? You know what? Here's the thing with baseball. It's 5 years before one of these kids out of high school gets anywhere close to it.
Your grandson's going to be 5 before anybody that the Jays picks.
It doesn't turn it around. I mean, you can get a pick in basketball or hockey or even football, and they can kind of sort of turn your franchise around. Yeah. Baseball, it doesn't work that way. even a kid out of college, it'll take you 5 years to get out of. You can be a top college player. You'll be in the minors for 4 or 5 years. Just let them tank. Who the hell cares? Like, the team sucks anyway.
Yeah.
Just let it blow up. Like, whatever. I mean, I appreciate with the Players Association, guys are getting DFA'd, guys are getting benched, guys are getting sent to the minors.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Penguins was when they wanted Lemieux. They put a scout in as their head coach and got their goalie from the ECHL and put him in there because they wanted to get Lemieux so bad. They did everything they possibly could to blow that season, and it worked, and it was great, and it turned the franchise around. The guy's a legend, but it was pretty bad. But I mean, baseball, it doesn't work that way. You can look, last season or past 3 seasons, everyone's been drooling over the Baltimore Orioles and all these young guys they had, right?
Yep.
They're 13 and a half games back.
Yeah, but those young guys haven't come through yet. So.
They have, like Adley Rutschman. They got Bo Jackson Holiday.
Yeah.
They've got who's their young? There's a catcher they had. No, that's Adley Rutschman. They got Gunnar Henderson. There's another player. They had all these young studs that came up, and they made it to the wild card, and then didn't win a game in the wild card, and they haven't done anything since. That's with 3 or 4.
They're struggling this year for sure.
They are. They were the envy of the league because they drafted these players and they all came up and they were killing it and they haven't gone anywhere. So it makes no difference.
Right, but they like Jackson Holiday was a rookie this year.
Yeah, he's 20 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right. These guys got 3 or 4 years till they bring it all together. Plus, they need some pitching too. I mean, Baltimore's not known for their pitching. They've given up 450 runs. Right. They've only scored 369. So you got to, they're one of the ones where that run differential really kind of bites you in the ass.
Right.
So, but I mean, it's going to take some time. And that's why you have to have a solid farm team.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And the Dodgers don't pick till 40th.
No.
Because there's all compensatory picks get picked before the people that were in the
Dodgers and the Yankees have a farm system. And the Red Sox are really good.
Yeah.
But it's, they have good scouts. They make good picks. And they have the player development to back it up.
Yeah.
Like anybody get the first overall pick, but if you have crap in your farm system for hitting coaches and guidance counselors and fielding coaches and that kind of stuff, it's not going to make any difference. You're going to get the best picks in the world. They're not going to develop because you're not coaching them right. The good team can take a player 235th overall and turn him into a starter because they know exactly what he needs to do and they know how to get into his head and get him to do it, right? So,
and it's one of the reasons why baseball has 20 rounds in the draft.
Yeah.
Where other sports have like 7.
Yeah, it used to be 30.
Yeah.
Down.
So they're picking guys in the 20s or now I guess in the late teens, but it used to be 30 in the 20s that we're going to go play single A ball in New Mexico, ride a bus and probably never even sniff the bigs.
Yeah.
But they got to fill out teams 4 layers deep.
Yeah.
So
but they also they carved back the number of minor league teams a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
They changed it a lot. So
you got A and high A now, and then you got double A, then triple A,
it used
and
to
then
be
the
like,
majors.
you had the developmental league and the Cape Cod League and
Yeah.
the Arizona Fall League, and they're still there, but it's just not the same as
They
used
brought them under the same umbrella. There's
Yeah.
the high A and the low A. So
yeah, but there's one high A and one low A.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if you were one of those guys that were going to go 20 to 30,
Yeah,
you play South Korea. You can get yourself in the Arizona League. You can go to Europe and play a bit. You can get into the Japanese League. There's ways of crawling their way back in.
well, and let's be honest here. This is only North American players.
Yeah.
Well, not even North America. This is a Canada-U.S.
You
players.
can go to Mexico. There's a ton of leagues in Mexico.
They do the Latin draft later.
Yeah.
Any international player that wants to come here has to be bid on.
Yeah.
They don't go into this draft. This draft's only for Canada and the U.S.
Yeah.
And mostly the U.S. because they don't really ever take anybody from Canada.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Latin American draft is where the gems are. And that's where it gets really exciting. And I like it because anybody can go in and just say, hey, man, here's $500,000. You're 14, sign us 30. It's a little dirty, but I kind of like it because it gives you a bit of drama, right?
Yeah.
But you can get some real, there's some real diamonds in the rough in the Latin American draft.
Well, and I think they might, when you're seeing the influx of Japanese players coming over and whatnot.
Slowly, but surely.
Yeah, I think, you're going to start seeing a complete draft where international players have to declare for the draft and be out there on the board, because it's not fair that the Dodgers can buy all the studs from Japan, right? Like,
well, look, Toronto went in on Shohei. They went in Sasaki. They went in and Yamamoto.
Did they really, Tim?
They did. They went in. They had Yusef Kikuchi was their Japanese player. They had him having dinner with the both of them. They made the big offers, and they decided to go with the Dodgers as individuals. They talked to their agents, talked to their families, and that's who they decided. Anybody can sign these guys. You have to be willing to put in the time, put in the money, sell your city, sell your franchise, and if they don't want to sign with somebody, it's like a free agent bidding.
Well, and I'm not going to argue that the LA isn't the best choice for anybody to want to be and play and whatnot. Like, I think that's number one in my opinion. I kind of got it right there around my arm, right?
Right.
I'm not going to sell that. But because of what the Dodgers have and the money they have and the backing they have, they just buy the players.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's not, and you don't even see what the contract is. Like, even the people are like, oh, Shohei, $700 million contract, right? It's everything in behind the contract, the sponsorships, the things that they're doing in the Dodgers are doing behind the scenes in the Japanese communities, his community, his philanthropic.
Philanthropy, I can't say it.
But anyways, his endeavors in that direction, right? Like
easy for us to say.
They invest so much into him, where a team like KC doesn't have that ability.
No.
Right? So it makes it, I think that makes it unfair when you just start looking at it. So I was just looking here at the draft, right? And New York, and LA had their picks dropped 10 spots because they exceeded the second surcharge threshold of the competitive balance tax.
Yeah.
Right? The second threshold. They're long past the first. We're past the second. And they got their picks dropped 10 spots. So the Dodgers are picking 40th instead of 30th.
I bet you anything they get a better prospect than the 10 pick.
Well, and this Quentin Young, I mean, he's a 6'6" infielder with raw power that, he's going to...
Et cetera.
From Oaks Christian High School in California. They don't care. They'll take a couple California kids, right?
And they'll turn them into machines.
But then they're going to trade you somebody and take 3/4 of your... I used to get mad at the Dodgers because they give up players playing right now for all these farm league players, right? Yeah. And then I realized, oh my God, their farm league is the best one on the planet.
It is.
It's because they keep replenishing it with multiple options.
Yeah.
And then they bring a guy up, like Dalton Rushing's come up now, and he's backing up Will Smith and filling in a different spots. He'll probably be playing for Muncie on third,
right?
And he was just one of 7 catchers that they had at one point that are all going to play in the majors at some point.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's just it. I mean, you have to have a farm system.
Yeah.
And you have to, and what's it by farm system? You have to have the proper coaches and GMs and leaders in, lower A ball, making crappy money in Dust Bowl, wherever the damn thing is.
Yeah.
Where's the lower A ball? I mean, upper A is in Vancouver, great, except you're getting, $50 a day per diem and riding a bus, and rent is $2,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not in minor league baseball is no.
No, you're sleeping 4 to a room in minor league baseball. Like, it's still right.
Hamilton Fisher Cat, or the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in Nashua, New Hampshire. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere, a lot of these places, right?
The really good thing about, or the only good thing about in the minors is that you don't pay for your training, you don't pay for your food.
Yeah.
You go to the stadium, there's always breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the stadium, right? You got all the facilities to use. You're sleeping 4 to a room.
Yeah.
You don't have any private life.
You're sleeping on the bus. You're catching these others' farts the whole trip down.
100%.
But the guys do it. They all love it. So, Okay, that wraps up this. Any other MLB you want to talk about?
We're good.
We're good. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comments. Matt's makeover and his bad knees. Anything you want to say? Okay, thank you very much for tuning into Off Topic with Tim and Matt, where we always go
Off topic.